Hey, it's Jamie East here from the Smart 7, and today's episode is brought to you by Pension Bee and their award-winning Pension Confident podcast. Getting your head around pensions might seem overwhelming, but that's where Pension Bee comes in. They're on a mission to build pension confidence. So whether you're just starting on your pension journey, you're nearing retirement, or like me, you're somewhere a little bit in between, then you should have a listen to the Pension Confident podcast. It's an award-winning podcast that digs into topics that really matter with the help of financial experts. So that could be the basics of how pensions, ISAs or mortgages work, and things like how to get started on saving for a happy retirement. And a bit like the Smart 7 does with the news, they break down complex pensions finance into language that we can all understand. You can listen or download the Pension Confident podcast wherever you get your podcast from, or you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And remember, anything discussed on the podcast shouldn't be regarded as financial or legal advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk. On today's Smart 7, London swamped by far-right protest march, tributes to a boxing great and much more. It's Monday 15th of September, it's Double Cheeseburger Day, and happy birthday, Prince Harry.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Saturday saw London swamped with protesters, arriving for a Unite the Kingdom march organised by Tommy Robinson. The event was estimated to have up to 150,000 attending, and there was a smaller counter-protest organised by Stand Up to Racism. The Robinson march saw scuffles with police and an alarming rallying cry from billionaire Elon Musk, who addressed the crowds over video link.
Whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die.
His remarks were criticised by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who defended the UK as a diverse country and warned that we will never surrender our flag to those who use it as a symbol of violence, fear and division. Former Labour MP Diane Abbott was one of those attending the counter-protest.
They're talking nonsense, and it's a dangerous lie to try and say that men of colour are a threat to women. It's a very dangerous lie, and I think we need to squash it.
The weekend saw Prince Harry make a surprise appearance in Ukraine, visiting Kyiv and speaking on behalf of an organisation called Superhumans that helps rehabilitate personnel injured in the war. There was no sign of any let-up in Vladimir Putin's ongoing attacks on Ukraine, with further drone attacks and an incursion into Romanian airspace on Saturday. Poland convened an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council on Friday and moved to allow Allied troops onto its territory. Polish Secretary of State at the Foreign Ministry Marcin Bosaki addressed the council.
Among the neighbours of Russia, everybody is free, prosperous and happy when there are no Russian troops on this country's soil. And one can only hope that Ukraine will be liberated from Russia's forces.
EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has called for more support for Europe's eastern flank, pointing out that Poland and the Baltic states keep Europe safe. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte was keen to emphasise that the danger is not confined to just those states.
You know, I don't like that whole eastern flank thinking because it gives the impression that if I live in Madrid or in London, I'm safer than when I live in Tallinn. And that is not true, because these latest Russian missiles, when they will be launched, they come down with 5 times the speed of sound, and they will take 5 or 10 minutes longer to reach Madrid or London than they take to reach Tallinn.
With the Prime Minister under serious pressure over the Angela Rayner scandal, which was quickly followed by the Peter Mandelson scandal, this might be the ideal time to run for Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. Last Thursday saw 2 candidates confirmed, Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson and former Leader of the Commons Lucy Powell. Both are now campaigning before polling officially opens on October 8th. Powell, who was sacked in the reshuffle, is pledging to be an independent voice, holding leadership to account, while Phillipson is seen as Number 10's preferred candidate. The Education Secretary formally opened her campaign in Sunderland on Sunday.
Because if we turn against one another, only one person will win, Nigel Farage. But millions more will lose. Children and families up and down our country. And that's why I say today to you, our members, you can use this contest to look backwards, to pass judgment on what's happened over the last year. Or you can use it to shape positively what happens in the run-up to the next general election. Now is the time to unite so we can deliver change and beat reform.
Authorities arrested a 22-year-old suspect on Friday in the investigation into the assassination of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. The man, identified by the FBI as Tyler Robinson, is expected to be charged on Tuesday, and a detailed investigation into his background is ongoing. The whole story has been swamped with misinformation and disinformation, with stories circulating at high speed online, which have since been disproven. It's still not clear what his motivation for the shooting was, but Donald Trump and his administration have been threatening vengeance for leftist violence all weekend. Utah's Republican governor, Spencer Cox, has been trying to calm the atmosphere.
Well, look, President Trump is very angry, and Charlie is his close personal friend. There is a lot of anger on the right, on my side of the aisle, and I've certainly felt that, and in this case, it does appear that that's true.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, tributes to a boxing great and historic wins at the Emmys. Right after this.
Hey, it's Jamie East here from the Smart 7, and today's episode's brought to you by Pension Bee and their award-winning Pension Confident podcast. Getting your head around pensions might seem overwhelming, but that's where Pension Bee comes in. They're on a mission to build pension confidence. So whether you're just starting on your pension journey, you're nearing retirement, or like me, you're somewhere a little bit in between, then you should have a listen to the Pension Confident podcast. It's an award-winning podcast that digs into topics that really matter with the help of financial experts. So that could be the basics of how pensions, ISAs or mortgages work, and things like how to get started on saving for a happy retirement. And a bit like the Smart 7 does with the news, they break down complex pensions finance into language that we can all understand. You can listen or download the Pension Confident podcast wherever you get your podcast from, or you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And remember, anything discussed on the podcast shouldn't be regarded as financial or legal advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk.
Welcome back.
There was tragic news on Sunday as former world champion boxer Ricky Hatton was found dead at his home in Manchester. He was just 46 years old. He had an incredible career, was a world champion in 2 welterweight categories, and had a loyal army of fans who followed him around the world. Tyson Fury was one of those paying tribute, saying there'll only ever be one Ricky Hatton. He was a lifelong Manchester City fan, and there was a minute's silence in his memory before Sunday's Manchester derby. City won convincingly, beating United 3-0 to put them 8th in the table, and goalscorer Phil Foden dedicated the win to Ricky Hatton.
I had extra motivation going into the game. And yeah, it's for him and his family and the people suffering right now. But yeah, the lads made sure today that we gave everything. As you could see, it weren't a pretty match at the end, but the way we run, yeah, it was all for him.
Wednesday sees the 4th season of The Morning Show drop on Apple TV+. The behind-the-scenes drama at America's favourite AM news show has been brilliant for the first 3 seasons, so the cast have plenty to live up to. We've been told this season will stay away from the real-world drama of Donald Trump, but it does have plenty to say on AI, deepfakes and more. The main cast are all back, including Billy Crudup and John Hamm, along with new additions Marion Cotillard and Jeremy Irons, and of course Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. Reese popped up with Jimmy Fallon to reminisce about her 25-year-long screen life with Jen.
This person that I met when I was 23 years old, and now we are, producers together, co-stars together. We're like dealing with HR issues together.
Yeah, of course you are, yeah.
It's amazing.
The 2025 Emmy Awards took place on Sunday night from the Peacock Theatre in downtown Los Angeles, and it was a night of surprises. Seth Rogen picked up acting, writing and directing Emmys for The Studio, which won 13 in total, but Colin Farrell was disappointed not to win for The Penguin. Severance star Britt Lower won Best Actress and gave her speech as Helly R, while there were wins too for medical drama The Pit, and for Stephen Colbert's now cancelled The Late Show. There was disappointment for The White Lotus and for shrinking star Harrison Ford. Gritty teen drama Adolescence won 8 awards, including a lead actor and writing Emmy for Stephen Graham and a history-making Emmy for young star Owen Cooper.
Honestly, when I started these drama classes a couple of years back, I didn't expect to be even in the United States, never mind here. You can achieve anything in life. Like, I was nothing about 3 years ago. I'm here now, so you just step out your comfort zone a little bit. Who cares if you get embarrassed,
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new Cold Zyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.